Who is your guy in this draft?
Am I allowed to pick a guy that's going to be a lottery pick? Because I just have a
Yes.
big basketball crush on Devin Carter.
Yes.
When my board updates next week, I'm going to have him top 5. I'm just saying, screw it, I'm going to
Woo!
do it. I just think Devin Carter, even though he's 22, watching the NBA playoffs, like you could plug Devin Carter with his almost 9 rebounds a game, his elite defense, his cutting and willingness to do all the dirty work on offense, and his improved scoring at the rim and his shooting. Like you could plug him into the Drew Holiday or Derek White role on Boston, and like he could do a really good job in that role. I think even as a young player on his rookie scale contract. So I think in this year's draft class where there's so much uncertainty around some of the the younger prospects, whether it's Sarr or Reese Shea or like even a Rob Dillingham type or Tijon Salon. There's so much if. I just feel like with Devin Carter, it's a pretty close to a guarantee that he's going to be a good player. And it's just, and sometimes those guys who are, quote unquote, good guys without high upside, sometimes they tap into a higher level. And I didn't see Devin Carter reaching the level he did with Providence last season, and yet it happened. So I don't think you can rule out a guy with his elite work ethic getting, to a level where he's a top 20, 25 player in the league.
He by far is one of the best two-way players in terms of the guard position in this draft. And what we saw at the combine, he blew through agility testing, had a 42-inch max vert, tied for top max vert, broke the 3/4, whatever court sprint, the poor man's 40, broke the record for the combine. And he was like electric during the shooting drills, like dapping up everyone, cheering on everyone, just doing shooting drills. And so that goes a long way, especially for teams, like you said, picking inside the top 10, picking inside the lottery. They want to bring someone in that's going to be a good culture fit. And you're right, Devin Carter fits that mold. Do you think Devin Carter moving into the lottery is kind of pushing Rob Dillingham out?
I think so. I mean, Dillingham, he's what, 164 pounds. He's small.
Yes.
And I mean, he's an electric scorer. His OT nickname Shifty. I think, it's fitting
Rob
for him.
with the shifts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I love it. It works. He's a lot of fun to watch, but he's so small. And Shepard is small, but he's 20 pounds heavier. And that makes a big difference. So, I think guys like Dillingham could be moving down, because if somebody's moving up, somebody needs to be moving down. And that's
Correct.
Speaks to what we were talking about earlier with the 24 guys in the green room. Inevitably there's going to be surprises on draft nights where it's I don't know, Harrison Ingram went 25 or Jalen Tyson goes, 18, whoever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's inevitably going to be something like that happens. And so then somebody's going to be falling out and waiting until day 2 for the draft. And same thing for somebody that expects to be a top 10 pick and ends up falling. But isn't that sometimes for the best? I mean, that relates to what I talked to Rich Paul about, it's you want your guy to be in the best fit. Is there really a team in the top 10 where, besides the Spurs, where you're oh my God, a perfect fit for Rob Dillingham? Some of the best fits are probably outside of the top 10. To me, the Heat at 15, I'd love him in Miami. Pair him with Bam Adebayo. To me, that'd be probably a better overall win in his career than maybe any of the teams in the top 10, San Antonio aside.
Yeah, my thing with Rob is I've known him for a while. He is such a competitor. He's a dog. And similar to Keontae George, when he fell to 16 last year, he came in with a chip on his shoulder, and look what happened. He was first team all rookie, was very productive in the right situation at the Utah Jazz. I think the same thing could happen to Rob. He doesn't necessarily have to go inside the top 10. If he's with the right team, he's going to go in and try to prove every team wrong that passed on him, play bigger than his size, listed at 6'1.5", 164 pounds. I checked what he was listed at Kentucky. They had him listed at 176 pounds. So
wow.
Coming in under 12 pounds of what you were listed at in college was significantly eye-opening, to say the least. But I have no idea what his draft range is. I mean, I'm hearing anything from 8 to probably 16. He's just starting to work out with teams last week after citing a sore ankle that he was rehabbing. He didn't participate in the combine, didn't participate in his pro day. So he's kind of a mystery, but again, someone that probably will fall, because just because, not because of what his body of work is, but because of what everybody else did.